1 or 2 fights he's ever lost in his 150. I mean, he's been fighting in the league since 97. But if you do fight Chara, know this, he's going to check up on you afterwards. And when he does, you say, I'm sorry, sir. Let's go.
Pick on someone your own size.
Francis Ngannou would be worried about going up against Zdeno Chara.
That's like me fighting Fort Justice.
News of the day in the NFL. It was expected, but it was unexpected for quite some time. When Derrick Henry went down, it was said it was season ending. Season back on? Back at practice with the Tennessee Titans. He said to reporters today he'll practice the rest of the week and he'll see if they activate him. It's just an intriguing storyline in the conference. Does he get the full load right away? Do you hold some back? What you hope is a longer playoff run. And most directly, George Sedano, around the horn to you. Are you now all in on the Tennessee Titans as AFC favorite with Derrick Henry back at practice?
Tony, no. The answer is no. Tannehill has certainly shown that he can take a team or help guide a team to the AFC Championship as they did a couple of years ago, but that was on the back of Derrick Henry and a great defense. Here's the other part of the equation. How much Derrick Henry are we actually getting? Now, they've been the 6th most efficient team in the red zone this year, but they've actually been better without Derrick Henry in the red zone this season. So how does that factor into this particular equation? This is where he would help them. He'll help them be able to control the clock, which is what they'll need because the Titans defense has struggled mightily, Tony, against wide receivers. 31st in the league as far as yardage giving up and receptions, and 28th.
I ask you, with Henry at practice, on the mend, maybe coming back, are the Titans the favorites in the AFC?
Not quite yet. But not only was Derrick Henry leading the league in yards and touchdowns and yards after contact when he got hurt, but in the playoffs history, no team, and you say not only do they have potentially this player returning at full strength, but they got the 1 seed with him missing so much of the season. So perhaps that helps them out, getting him back. And when this team is at full strength, with all due respect to everything Sedano just said, I don't think Ryan Tannehill is as much of a factor. In fact, with Derrick Henry, he's got a bunch of fourth quarter comebacks. And so I do think he can win multiple playoff games if they're 100% healthy. But that's what concerns me about Derrick Henry. They still haven't cleared him because they want to see how he reacts to multiple days of contact in practice because they know that's the type of beating he's going to take. So really, we can't really answer that. But if he is 100%, I do think...
If you can't answer it, then you'll get a mute. Justin Tinsley, can you answer it? The number 1 seed, are they the favorites? Would they get the MVP of their team back?
They're the number 1 seed, and they earned it. But no, I'm not calling that until I see Patrick Mahomes get eliminated from the playoffs. Now, if you're a Titans player, if you're a Titans fan, here's what excites you. If Derrick Henry does play on Sunday, the last 2 times they've had Derrick Henry, if you're the Titans, the Bengals have been preparing to fight Mike Tyson's sparring partner at 100%. And then out of nowhere, you hear, okay, well, Mike Tyson wants to fight too, but he might be 70%. Mike Tyson at 70% is still scary. So that's the mental hurdle for all of this. And also, you have to be concerned if you're Cincinnati because Trey Hendrickson, their star defensive end, he's out with concussion protocol, and you need somebody to stop that rushing attack.
Okay, a lot of good information on Tennessee's behalf there, but still 3 panelists now not willing to give the number 1 seed the favorite status in the AFC. Everybody has a plan until they get a Frank Isola in their face. Go ahead, Frank. Bring it to us.
Well, like Justin, I do have great belief in Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. But here's the thing, and you mentioned long playoff run. The beauty of being the number 1 seed is you only have to win 2 home playoff games and you're in the Super Bowl. When the 3 of those guys are on the field together, Tennessee averages 7 yards per play. That is by far the best in the league when it's those 3 guys out there. And you mentioned Ryan Tannehill, George. Let's remember, Brad Johnson's won a Super Bowl. Jeff Hostetler, no disrespect to them. Trent Dilfer's won.
I think there's disrespect. I think there's a little bit of disrespect there, Frank.
Well, you can win with an average quarterback. You don't have to have a great quarterback.
Bring Gutierrez back.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
I would just like it to be noted to the rest of the Around the Horn panelists that we can make cross-sport analogies and get points if it's boxing. Boxing
I thought that was really sad.
What the heck?
Sedano, you can come back in and go after Isola, please.
Well, Brad Johnson and Trent Dilfer, those guys won 20 years ago, Tony. The game has changed. If you want sustained...
Nick
yes,
Foles?
you can have
Can
an
I throw
outlier
Nick
situation,
Foles out there? Nick Foles recently?
I mean,
Eli Manning?
an
Thank you,
outlier
Tony.
situation. You need a great quarterback.
Everybody
Ryan
has a
Tannehill is not
plan
that.
until you get a Frank in your face. That's what I was saying. There you go, Isola. You know what I liked about this? Gutierrez and Sedano, two Miami guys, fighting about Ryan Tannehill like it's 2015. I mean, we'll move on. Jimmy Garoppolo says it's a thumb and it's a shoulder injury now. Both hurt equally, but he's okay. 49ers, Packers is Saturday night, so quick turnaround for San Francisco. Nick Bosa still in concussion protocol. That looms large. As far as simulating Aaron Rodgers, Trey Lance gets that job this week. So Trey Lance is at practice going up against San Fran's defense, showing what Aaron Rodgers might be. I don't know how you simulate Aaron Rodgers. Frank, how does San Francisco match up here?
Yeah. Let me just say something really quick about Jimmy G, the world's most handsome pinata. That interception was brutal. That might have been the worst play of that Cowboy game, by the way. Even worse than the quarterback draw at the end. I don't know how you replicate. You're talking about a guy in Aaron Rodgers who's a presumptive MVP of the league. And what you love about Aaron Rodgers is his ability to improvise. He's throwing off, his back leg. He's throwing on the run. He gets to the line of scrimmage. He's changing the play. How are you going to replicate that? What the Niners could have going for them is if you tell me Nick Bosa is going to play. Because if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm worried about that dude.
Justin Tinsley, I'll bring you in here. You've seen San Francisco play recently, I think, right? Our resident Cowboys fan. I'm sorry I did that. Here, take a point. How should they be matching up here and trying to pretend they can practice against Aaron Rodgers?
The comedian Cat Williams has a really funny joke that says, if you squint your eyes, a Chrysler 300 looks just like a Bentley. Until a Bentley actually pulls up. And that's what Trey Lance and Aaron Rodgers really is in this situation. And that's no disrespect to Trey Lance, because you can't duplicate what this does. Yes, there is none. But I honestly think this is a gamesmanship move by San Francisco, because I think they're telling us we might actually see Trey Lance in the game. You mentioned Garoppolo's injury. We don't know the extent of that. We may see him for a few plays, because San Francisco has the offense and the defense to walk out of Lambeau with the victory. And also on Saturday, something has to give at this point, Tony. Green Bay is 8-0 at home during the season. But Aaron Rodgers has lost his last 3 times in the playoffs to San Francisco. And in his career, he's only 6-6 against San Francisco. So something has to give. And I think San Francisco has the recipe to do it.
Gutierrez, San Francisco's matchup this week.
It feels like a Mike Tyson sparring partner doing the scouting quarterbacking for the 49ers here. But look, I do think it can be helpful. I do think it can be helpful even to just have him replicate just what Aaron Rodgers might do if he can't make the throw pinpoint the same way that Aaron Rodgers does. You see Aaron Rodgers being that mobile regularly, right? He can obviously throw out of the pocket, but it's not like the first thing that you think of when you think of Aaron Rodgers. So it's not like Trey Lance can replicate all that stuff that he does, as we mentioned before, before the actual snap. But I do think that the possibility of him playing becomes more real. If you're saying, hey, go out there, feel good, have an Aaron Rodgers type of week in practice, if Jimmy G, as Justin mentioned, if Jimmy G is not 100% out there and his thumb and shoulder are hurting, then yeah, I would go ahead, if he has a good week of practice, throw him out there.
Tony, the short answer is no. He can't replicate that, as the guys have already stated. Now, the Niners players have done a nice job in the media saying, look, he's done this role with us when we've had to play against Kyler Murray or Kirk Cousins. And I'm not going to say with all due respect or with no respect. I'm going to tell you, take the disrespect, because Aaron Rodgers is not Kyler Murray, or Kyler Murray and Cousins are not Aaron Rodgers. Okay, so the reality is he can't replicate that. They have said, hey, look, when the play breaks down, could he have the playoffs?
Right?
He won in week 3. Yeah. But this Niners team is not the team we saw in week 3. They're way better now.
Right. He was 70% completion, a couple touchdowns in week 3, a lot of pointing from
Georgia.
Something on San Fran's side that wasn't happening in week 3. Deebo Samuel wasn't in the backfield, getting as many carries as he is. That's a little wrinkle that Green Bay hasn't seen. One more topic here. NBA. Grizzlies Bucks tonight. The team last year, we were wondering how really real are they? Who won a championship versus the team? Some are wondering right now, how really real are they? And they're currently the 3rd best record in the NBA. Did you guys hear Kendrick Perkins a couple weeks ago say that Ja could be the next Giannis, bring a title to a small market? Israel Gutierrez, you see it like that?
In terms of bringing a title to a small market, I can see that, right? I don't know if he's the same level of talent that Giannis is. He has the, he has the confidence, he has the ability at the point guard to really elevate a team. But in terms, that's a bit of a large leap to take. I will say this matchup is crazy intriguing. No Bane tonight, so it's going to be a problem for the Grizzlies. But they seem to be capable of beating everybody in a one-game sample. So why wouldn't you consider them, contenders this year? And if they can do that without Bane tonight, I mean, you got to look at them quite seriously.
He's certainly not the individual talent, as he mentioned, as Giannis. But I actually will take it a step further. I think this Memphis team, I would buy stock in them. I think they could be the next San Antonio Spurs-like team where they can win multiple championships if Ja Morant stays healthy. They've built the right group around him. I love what they do with Jaren Jackson. I think he's a player that can be, a all-star caliber player for years to come. I'm all in on the Memphis Grizzlies moving forward.
Frank Isola, you as high as George Sedano is on the Grizzlies?
I love Ja Rule. Justin, you can Google who Ja Rule is. Here's the only thing, though, when you want to compare him to Giannis Antetokounmpo, Giannis is 27, and he's already won 2 MVPs. He's been a Finals MVP, and he scored 50 points in a closeout game. Remember this also. Memphis did go 10-2 when Ja was out of the lineup, and I think that time that he spent out, I think when he came back, he trusts his teammates even more. They've become a more dangerous team. He's become a better player.
And Justin Tinsley.
Yeah, Ja's job, but it's fascinating watching him take a superstar turn because the whole league feels it. And this Grizzlies team is for real. I won't compare him to Giannis, but in terms of a culture of a city matching a player, it feels a lot like
they've always had that, right? Grind City has always been. Now they got more bounce in it.
This is a superstar.
That's the way Ja plays this game. Make a pick for tonight. Around the horn, Frank Isola.
Milwaukee.
Justin.
Memphis.
Israel.
Player features, breaking stories, injury updates, and previews of each game. So glad you're here on NFL Live. Debo demolition. Ooh, I like it. Anyone want to try to stop Debo Samuel right now? The guy's on fire. 110 yards total and a touchdown against Dallas on Sunday. Yeah, throw it back all the way to the Gamecocks, Dave. What a weapon for Kyle Shanahan in this offense to be able to use however he wants. And to that point, Debo Samuel has been the definition of a big play threat this season with rare versatility, including the playoffs. He averages 18 yards per reception, the highest mark in the league among players with at least 50 catches on the ground, averaging 6.3 yards per rush, the second highest mark of any player with at least 50 rushes. It's worth noting, though, the last time Samuel faced the Packers in Week 3, he recorded a season-low 52 scrimmage yards. So, man, why has Kyle Shanahan been able to... he's a mess over there. Why has Kyle Shanahan been able to use Debo so successfully this season?
All right, so hear me out with the San Francisco 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers offensively with Debo are so good because they don't have an identity. They have character. They don't have an identity. And the challenge for Green Bay is, do you match them personnel-wise or do you match them formation-wise? Just imagine this. Like, you right now are presenting 21 to a defense, 2 backs and 1 tight end, but this is an 11 personnel formation that looks like 3 wide receivers. This is the tailback up top going in motion. Debo is actually the person that you're going to kick the football to, so it's 21 personnel the backfield, but my tailback at wide receiver up top. But then there's 3 potential wide receivers on the field. So 21 or 11 pre-snap. Then post-snap, this is really a 21 personnel formation. 2 backs in the backfield. I fake it to Debo, give it to Ayuk. I got a lead block with the receiver and a tight end, and that's how I capture the edge. They don't have an identity. They got a bunch of positionless guys. And defensively, so everybody at home understands, like, this is how the chess match happens. Play gets snapped, ball's dead. Offense calls their personnel out, right? They start changing guys onto the field personnel-wise. Defenses match personnels. And so then you break your huddle, and then they match things formationally. The play might, or the call might change. I just don't know how you do that with San Francisco that places a tailback out here and Debo back here. Or Kyle Juszczyk's out a wide receiver spot and Debo's in the backfield. Just they play so much positionless football that they don't really have an identity. They just know who they are.
With all that Dan is saying, that confusion for the Green Bay Packers is going to be tough. When you think about Green Bay, they're giving up the goods in the red zone. They're 28th in red zone efficiency for a defense going up against the #1 scoring offense in the red zone efficiency. So when you look at what they're capable of doing, they can score from many different ways. They can put the ball in the air. They can run it on the ground like Dan is talking about. You got Deebo Samuel in the backfield. Your Ayuk outside on slants. Deebo on slants, running the ball in between. It is Green Bay's 28th in scoring efficiency on defense, and they're 13-4.
Yeah.
With the number 1 seed.
Man.
12.
Key had a lot of stats in there.
12
I did the Dan. I wanted to give you all the good stuff, you know.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, right? It
I've been
helps
around
you got
Dan.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that helps a lot. First of all, this mic pack whooped
Yeah,
my tail. I wish
you,
y'all
if
could have
y'all
saw
would
that.
have seen what was going on over here.
This mic stand.
I'm plugging him back in. His mic dropping on the ground. I mean, it was wild. It was a whole thing. And every time we thought we got it fixed, it would fall out again. Anyway, tell us your
That
analogy.
mic back was me, a little annoying kid.
Yeah, it was like,
let me get into it. All right, so like you said, I'm a big basketball fan, but when I watch the San Francisco 49ers play, I think in context of how the style of play. San Francisco 49ers is the team that wants to get across half court, make 3 good passes, and get their jump shooters the shot.
Yeah.
Right? That is how Kyle is. We saw this team go down 17-0 to the Los Angeles Rams, never changed their game plan.
Right.
We're going to continue to do what we do. On the other side, Green Bay, they are the Warriors.
Right.
They want to shoot 3-pointers. They want the score to be upwards to 40 to 50 points a game because of who their quarterback is. It's always boiled down in this matchup. 2 years ago, Jimmy G, 8 passes.
Yep.
San Francisco 49ers made the game play the way they wanted it to play. This year, they made it how they wanted it to. Aaron just was able to come over.
Right.
That is why first possession, first quarter against the San Francisco 49ers is vitally important to determine defensively and offensively to determine how the game is going to be played. Because every defense coach saying, I want Jimmy Garoppolo
I'm just
to
going to
win
be
this
so
game.
intrigued. If Debo's in the slot, how do they treat him? When he's in the backfield, same with Kyle Juszczyk. Like, how are they going to treat all those different personnel groupings when none of them marry the same formation?
Time for one more thing before we go. Colts owner Jim Irsay may have an honorable mention on Big Man Ballin'. Look at this video that he posted of him weighing 307 pounds. Look at this guy. He's squatting. Look at him, guys.
Look at him.
Let's see him squat.
Sit, get parallel, now stand up.
That's what they say.
Y'all act like you've done that before. Dan acts like he never squatted 525
I
pounds.
put 500 on my back before, Ruddy?
No,
I didn't say 100% I did.
No, you have
Now,
not.
my
All
form
right.
was like,
For us, if we want to try to move on to the AFC Championship game this year.
Fires right down the middle. Touchdown, Buffalo! And he throws it. It's caught. Touchdown! And the Bills are pouring it on the Patriots. And Mahomes is on fire!
Ooh, just a few days away from the divisional round of the playoffs. Bills, Chiefs at Arrowhead, of course. Bengals, Titans, 49ers, Packers, Rams, Bucks. Let's go. Welcome to NFL Live. Mark Spears is right there. Chandler Loss is over there. They're killing me because they say I'm the Pink Panther in my suit. So let's just get it out of the way. Yeah, I am. Okay.
she got her Stan Macho on this
Watch out. And by the way, don't insult Acho.
You don't ever get it. Sometimes you got to get it too.
No, give it to me. Give it to me.
Yeah, I was wondering. I didn't know if it was my monitor or not based on the color. I was about to say, I'm like,
Key, it's Pepto-Bismol.
damn, she got a lot of pink on.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, wait till you see the whole thing.
For Betty White's 100th birthday.
Exactly, yes. R.I.P. We love Betty White. Adam Schefter's here as well, and he's got no part of these shenanigans, as he should. Later on, we're going to tell you the reason San Francisco's scheme can be so confusing for defenses, why that has someone here thinking maybe Green Bay could be in some trouble. But let's begin with two of the most exciting players in the NFL, Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. What a treat to see this again. These superstar quarterbacks are in a win-or-go-home situation, and that just makes it so much more interesting. Chris, you think about what Josh Allen is coming off of, an incredible performance. Patrick Mahomes has turned it on of late, and both quarterbacks spoke today about playing each other, playing against each other. We hear from Mahomes first.
He's a tremendous player. I actually know him a little bit off the field as well. Great dude. They put a lot on his shoulders, and he rises to the occasion. I mean, he's able to run the ball. He can throw the ball. He has the arm strength to throw it anywhere on the football field, and he makes great decisions.
It's obviously pretty cool to be in that conversation with a player who's won MVP and won a Super Bowl already. And, he's done all the major things that you want to accomplish in your career. And obviously he wants more too. So I know the type of guy Pat is. We've talked to each other a few times, and he's an awesome dude. And I know he's got his foundation set up that helps a lot of people. And that's something I really admire about him as well, that he's a real good person off the field as well.
A lot of respect there. That's nice. This season, the Bills have utilized play action at the second highest rate in the league, including the playoffs. Josh Allen has definitely taken advantage, right? On play action passes, Allen ranks 4th in QBR, 2nd in touchdown